Welcome to Relationship Realities with Roland
and Reyna.
We're going to give you a little funny, little crazy, and a whole lot of reality.
Welcome back to our returning listeners.
Welcome back, everybody.
And if you are a first-time listener, welcome to the podcast. We hope that you will learn something and maybe have a laugh or two.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
So this podcast, we're going to be discussing something that's a little controversial. It's definitely going to be an interesting episode today.
Yes.
We're going to be discussing, what do you do if you know that a friend of yours is cheating on their significant other?
Good question. You know?
So we are going to jump into that in a little bit. And make sure you stick around to the end, because we're going to be discussing the poll from our last episode, as well as the poll for this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But first, before we get into all of that, last weekend, Roland and I, we were a little adventured out. So
We were adventured out.
So we stayed local. Mm-hmm. And even though we were kind of adventured out, we still went on some little mini adventures and gathered some information and some video footage of some local areas that we're going to combine and create, a little vlog for possibly next week. But, it definitely wasn't a long road trip like any of our other adventures.
Definitely not. Kept it local. So make sure you head on over to YouTube. Right. And to get to our YouTube, if you don't know, you can go to rrwithrr.com. You can click on our YouTube link, and then, we release a video every Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And this past video was it was a Q&A.
It was interesting.
And it was a little bit personal. You should probably head on over there, and you'll get a laugh or two out of that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are always open for comments and for questions. So if you have a question that is burning in your mind and you want to ask either one of us or both of us, just send us a message or, comment on the video, and we will consolidate those questions for a future Q&A video.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's get into this episode.
Yes, I'm going to start off. Okay. I'm going to paint you a picture. Okay. And just like every other time we have one of these really debatable things, I'm torn.
I know.
I'm torn, okay? Because I know that if it's my friend, if it's a guy, if they say, if I somehow find out that they're cheating, I know it's not my place to say anything to the other person, right?
Because you never know what's going on in their relationship, and
yeah, it can just... It can definitely go south for you, even though you might think that you're helping them.
Right.
It might not, but ultimately for me, definitely not saying anything to the other person, but I will say something to the guy, let's say.
Right, your friend, your actual friend.
That's doing the bad act. What do you think, babe?
Well, I'm torn, just like you are, because I can see it going down in several different ways, unfortunately. And I have been in this position before. Mm-hmm. I have been the friend in the relationship, friendship that knew that there was cheating going on. And I brought it to her attention that she was being cheated on. And unfortunately, they stayed together. And
really?
And they were actually engaged to be married.
Interesting.
They ended up getting married.
Wow. I don't see this going in a good way, but go ahead.
And then guess what happened?
I can only imagine. They got a divorce.
They did, because...
Unreal.
There was more cheating going on. But this time it wasn't him cheating. It was her cheating.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. So,
it was just a big cheat fest, huh?
It really was.
That's insane.
And the crazy thing was that when they stayed together, when they decided to stay together, they kind of alienated me, because I was the bad guy that brought this, shined the light on the infidelity. And, the hindsight being 2020, I am kind of glad that happened because I don't really want friends like that
Yeah.
in my life. It was just so much drama. And I still have contact with other friends, other, mutual friends that all of us had, and they got pulled into all of the crazy drama that happened. And I am very grateful that I was not in the middle of all of the aftermath of it. But there, like I was saying, there's just so many different layers. There's so many different situations where you don't really know what's going on, and you don't want to get in the middle of anything. And heaven forbid the other person finds out, and then they knew that we knew.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I can't even.
Right. Yeah. And not only that, think about it, folks. If you have a friend that is cheating and is open with you about that, are they that really good of a person?
Right.
Right. Whatever their reasoning is behind the cheating's still cheating. It's still a bad thing. Right. So you got to bring them, morally that person isn't a very good person if they're choosing to do that willingly.
Right.
And then not only that, but to share it with you in whatever way they are. But yeah, I would question that person's friendship, right? So if they're going to do something like that to a significant other.
Yeah, especially someone that they're supposed to be spending the rest of their life with. Like, that is their life partner.
Yeah.
That's, I totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah. If they're going to do that to them, they would just throw your friendship away.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, not even thinking about it. Or what I would say to that other person that's open with me about cheating is to be kind of just straight up honest with them. Like, ask them what they're getting out of cheating,
right,
versus what they're getting out of their actual significant other, right?
Right.
And then depending on the type of person, because everybody's different, a lot of people will be just closed off to any kind of, quote, counseling, right? You really have to gauge the person that you're talking to, because the counseling side just doesn't work for a lot of closed-minded people.
Right. So, like I had mentioned earlier, that there's so many different dynamics to this whole scenario. And, I can say that family members, for example, if it's a family member or if it's your best friend, those types of situations are unique and they're a little bit different, because obviously you're going to give them whatever advice you think is necessary, that, that they shouldn't be doing what they're doing or whatever. But, and each person in this situation is very different. For example, for me, I would not distance myself from a family member, obviously, because it's family. Yeah. And the same with, an extremely close friend or a best friend. I would just let them know, hey, I don't agree with what you're doing. Don't bring me into your drama. And, I said my piece. Right. I definitely can't say in good conscience that I would not be friends with my best friend anymore, or not, associate myself with family members. I would just know where their loyalties lie in that specific situation, and kind of
adjust accordingly, right?
Absolutely. I definitely don't think that their significant other would expect, another family member to side with the significant other as opposed to the family member. So, like I said, it's every situation is very different and very unique, and it's up to the individual person to decide where their personal morals lie and where their loyalties lie. And if it's with a family member, friend, if it's just a friend that is someone that is a recent friend or whatever, every situation is different. But it's one of those things where whatever decision you make, you have to look yourself in the mirror every day. So if you are okay with your friend cheating on their significant other, then it's something that you have to it has to sit on your conscience,
Yeah. All right, guys. So in conclusion, yeah, I know it's a lot of information, guys, and there's so many variables,
Right.
but I mean, it comes down to a lot of the things that we've already talked about.
Yeah.
Morals, really good decisions, judgment, all those come into play. You've got to decide for yourself. You've got to, you, and you got to look at your situation and make, the best decision.
Right. And you just have to take into consideration what the potential outcomes may be. You may potentially lose a friend. You may potentially harm friendships, or a relationship. So it's one of those things where I can understand why a lot of people just choose to not say anything.
Well, yeah, not say anything. Don't get involved.
Right.
Just let whatever's happen.
Right. Yeah.
Because those people are going to get what they deserve or whatever
Right.
you may think about it. But anyway.
So this was just something that we wanted to kind of bring out in the open and to talk about. And we wanted to hear what your thoughts are. Have you ever been in this situation where you're the friend on the outside looking in? And if so, what did you do about it? Did you say something? Did you not say something? We're very curious about that. And this is going to be our poll for the week. We'll have that up on our Facebook page. And did you say anything? Because I think most of us have known a friend or a family member that was in the situation and they were cheating on their significant other. So if you did you say something? And if so, what was the outcome? We would love to hear from
results,
you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we love hearing them. We love reading them.
Yeah.
So be sure to look out for that.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be up on our Facebook page as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get to our Facebook page from our website, rrwithrr.com.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of polls, so last week, our episode from last week, we were talking about running into exes and how that played out with your significant other.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the poll from last week. And we actually had some interesting responses that I was not expecting.
Yeah.
I figured that it
either.
was going to be overwhelmingly
one-sided,
yes,
but no, not really.
It definitely was not. And one of the comments from one of our listeners was pretty interesting.
Yeah, so Sean mentioned that he said, even the exes that had a rough ending have been fine when I ran into them. I bet it would have been different if I was in my 20s, though. So that brought up a good point. Is in something that we didn't mention was the fact that age and your decision-making at a certain age is going to play a large factor.
Right.
And we definitely didn't even touch in on that because if I was in my 20s, my decision making was a lot different back then than it is now. So
yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the results were 60% said no, that they didn't have an issue, and the other remaining 40% did. That is interesting considering the fact that I thought the majority of people would have an issue.
Yeah, so did I. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of the results that we go over every week. And we really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So be sure to stick around for this week's one.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so also be sure to head on over to rrwithrr.com so you can go to our YouTube page where we release, a vlog from time to time.
Yeah.
We've got Tuesday we release a really, somewhat educational yet
more humorous than everything else.
But we try to teach a thing or two, you know what I'm saying? And so be sure to check all that out and subscribe and like and all that over there too. So.
Definitely. Please subscribe to the channel and share it. If there's a video that you think is funny or our podcast, the only way that we can grow is with your help. So please share. Thank you so much for joining us. We definitely could not do this without you. So until next week, guys.
Till next Thursday, guys. Y'all take care.
See you later.
See ya.